Hey y'all, good morning. Working on a '07 Kia Sportage. It's a V6. Changing the spark plugs. This could be a kind of a difficult challenge, but to be honest with you, if you go through the steps I'm about to tell you, it's really not too bad. Unfortunately, I already did the process because it was just really fucking hard to figure out. Excuse my language, but it was very challenging to figure it out. But we finally got it. So just want to give you some hints and details to kind of help guide you through it. That way you're not taking unnecessary bolts out and everything else. So let's get started. You're gonna need a 10 millimeter and a 12 millimeter socket. And extensions of variable types, 3-inch, 6-inch, deep sockets. Those work great. So, anyways, I'm just going to kind of tell you the bolts that you need to take out in order to get this job done and make your life easy. So, you have a bolt here, there, 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 and there. And all the surrounding things on the manifold, such as that one that I already mentioned, these don't necessarily have to come off because this is a separate entity back here from this manifold. As you can see, it's connected and there's actually a gasket, so go ahead and take those off. Take all your connections off, your wiring and vacuum, make sure everything's off there. And really the simplest way to accomplish this is keeping this stud on. Some people suggest taking that stud out using a double nut method, but I highly suggest doing this instead, taking that nut off still. And there's also a bolt here, and there's a bolt down here as well where my finger is, to disconnect all that. I highly suggest using the double nut method here on this and on this to completely remove the stud out of the manifold assembly. So whenever you do that, you'll be able to slide this manifold completely over and pull it right out. Given there is a couple lines that are still on, you can remove these vacuum lines like I had mentioned before. It's not necessarily necessary because you can take this manifold and you can lay it right here and be able to get that done. But I just don't want you guys to have to go through unnecessary steps like I did. You'll see that there's a Allen keys, one right where my finger is, and there's one there, right there, and then there's one more right, gotta find it, sorry, right where my middle finger, or my index finger is, right under this module. Those aren't necessary to take out. They look necessary, but they're not. Something else I would take note of is whenever you're slapping this thing back together after it's all assembled, go ahead and put your gasket on the stud and slide this, and there's this little tab that you can grab on right there. Go ahead and pull that and try and feed a bolt through. Don't tighten it all the way, but just start it. That way you're able to kind of have wiggle room, and then you're able to bolt everything else down accordingly, because there's another gasket. There's a, let's see, right there, little tab to hold it in place. Same applies on this side. So you want to go ahead and get these studs back through, and then maybe just one up here, one or two right there, and that will take care of what you need. As far as anything else, it really wasn't too bad. Oh, you might have to remove a bolt here and there for your cover plate to get to that bolt right there where my index finger is. You'll see what I'm talking about. It looks impossible to get to, but after you remove those top two, it's cake. As far as the ignition system or the coil packs, I went ahead and just replaced all the spark plug lines, and I replaced the coil pack, but it wasn't necessary, so probably going to take it out. But let me know if y'all have any questions. This was a tedious process, but after I took the studs out and everything, it worked out okay. So anyway, y'all have a good day. I hope you figure it out, because it was definitely a pain in the ass. So have a good one.